Beautiful. Now, what's the difference between? I'm just a layman, and I'm sure most of our viewers and others who are following us on YouTube will probably be like me. Now, what is the difference, if there is any, between the internet and the web?
Okay, the internet is a network. Okay, interconnected network. That's actually what
it means. Interconnected network.
Yeah, internet. Okay. Internetwork. Within that internet, there are lots of protocols and other programs.
When you say protocols, it's not like the head of state is going to Abuja and some people are clearing the airport, or they are holding a flight or something.
Let me clarify that. Within that internet network, there are programs. There are other programs like the web, like email, like chat. Those are all part of the network. So the difference is that the internet is the entire network. Within that big network, there are other smaller programs.
small rooms in a house.
Exactly. So the web is a part of that big network. So the web, World Wide Web. What a web is basically interconnection. So the web, which is more graphical and text, is one part of it. There are other parts of the internet, the protocol for communicating via email. Okay, that's different from the web.
Okay.
So when you see an email address, it's different from a web address.
Yeah, that's true. It's different from the web address. Okay, now so let's come to addresses. So help us now, therefore, to understand what is an internet address, what is URL. Then what, of course, again, is a domain name, which is the reason why we have asked you to come in here and tell us exactly what. So what's the difference between the internet, what is URL, and what is a domain name?
Okay, excellent. So let's start from what I said earlier about domain name. Domain name, it's a way for humans to remember addresses. So first, you must have a domain name. It always ends with .something. That's the domain name. So when you have nera.org.ng, that's a domain name.
Okay.
Now, within that domain name, once you have a domain name, you can now have all these other resources, email, URL, web, which is URL basically stands for Uniform Resource Locator.
Okay.
So it allows you to reach a resource on the internet. So your URL will be a web address, and an email address will also have a domain part. So when you see anything that starts with HTTP, www, World Wide Web, after that dot is the domain name. On the email side, when you see okpe@nera.org.ng, that nera.org.ng is the domain name. So the domain name is the key. It is under that domain name that you have all these other resources that you can run.
Access. Yes. I see. Now, so can you tell us in the broadest sense possible what Nigerians are either losing or gaining by not having a domain name that is
.ng.
Specifically Nigeria? I don't know if it's .ng or .niger or .niger or whatever. I mean, let's just say, what are we losing in the broadest sense possible?
Yes.
Can you tell us, therefore, what we are losing or what we are gaining by not having what you call a domain name?
Okay. The domain name, the .ng, actually starts from ITU, ISO. They have a 2-letter code for every country.
Okay.
So you see .uk, .co, .za, .ng. .ng is the unique identifier for Nigeria.
Beautiful.
Now, when Nigerians, and we have estimated that there are over 150,000 .com names registered by Nigerian individuals and businesses.
150,000.
And they are paying
to .com.
Yes, and they are paying average of $6 every year for those names. So if you do the math, that's the amount of money that's actually leaving our country to the United States and other. Well, United States is the biggest. They run .com.
Yeah.
.com is a global network. It's a global top-level domain. Yeah. So every year, Nigerians, both local and international, even our own corporate existence, corporate companies, corporate organizations.
Like NTA, for instance.
NTA, you're sending, whether you like it or not, you're paying. If you pay in Naira, you're actually ultimately sending that money to United States. So over 160 150,000 times $6. That's a lot of money.
And we do this every year.
Every year you have to do it.
And it's still growing.
It's growing. And the other part of it is that not just the money we are physically losing, there are other associated money that we are losing, like hosting. We are hosting our content outside of Nigeria. That's also capital flight, money that's leaving our shore to develop countries where they don't really practically, they don't need it, to be honest. We need that money more than
they do.
Now, on the other hand, we're also losing jobs. We are losing jobs in the sense that there are developers that are developing software, and they develop those software on .com platform. And if we domesticate those platforms, domesticate those software, it actually brings job back to our economy. So we're losing on the financial side, we're losing on the job front, we're also losing on the content. On the content. I mean, it's great to have Facebook, but we can create our own Facebook. What does it take to create Facebook? Really? There are so many Nigerians on Facebook. But
I'm on Facebook.
So, I mean, we are losing content.
Rose Flow is also on Facebook.
Yes. And if you look at it, content that are Nigerian-based, they are all domesticated on .com or whatever. So if we bring all that, we begin to create our own internet economy, which will eventually help. There was an estimate about the GDP that the internet economy is contributing to the United States. It's huge.
What kind of figure are we looking at here?
We're looking at almost $6 billion.
From the internet?
Yes.
That Americans are making?
Yes. That's just on the domain name alone.
That's amazing. Now, so